Welcome to the return of chaos. Whether you take the Bible as the literal word of God or you look at it as a great wisdom text, I'm inviting you to consider what I'm telling you. The Bible with the flood story is warning us. God is telling us 4 things have to be maintained, at a minimum 4. And you can expand it through the oral traditions that are of tremendous value to 7. But the point is there's 4 things that must be maintained to avoid the floods of chaos or the return of chaos. So first, you must have a proper respect of God. This doesn't mean perfect knowledge. It doesn't mean complete and perfect understanding, but at least respect, okay? A wise person has respect for God. They can have different views, but they're basically trying to understand truth and trying to understand God. That's number 1. Number 2, proper sexual relations. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be, well, it does actually, okay? I think it's important to be living it, but if you're in a situation where you cannot attain the ideal, I think that there's actually room for that, okay? Now, with the room for the struggling in the ideal, where the room is do you value it? Okay, if you're in a situation where you have your civilization that does not value the importance of marriages, of children being brought into loving married homes, like, this is the thing that establishes order, okay? When it's just chaos where children are being born to unwed mothers, and this brings and introduces chaos. I'm sorry, it's not the ideal. Now, on the other hand, I really admire people like an example I use is Dave Rubin. Like, here we have a gay man, but he acknowledges that he's living the relation that makes him the happiest. Okay, he's acknowledging though that there is a better ideal, okay? And if you're grounded in enough reality to recognize that there's a better way and that there is an ideal, I think that you can have wisdom, okay? Now, so having these grounded truths as the ideal in your society avoids the floods of chaos, okay? Number 3, a respect for nature, okay? God says that all things are food, but don't eat living things. So in other words, don't eat an animal while he's alive, okay? Don't torture it, okay? Now, this is critical to whether it's plant life, animal life. I think respect for all life is good. We could talk more about that, but I think as a society we're doing okay with that one, okay? Now, on the other though, the Bible refers to it as avoid blood, okay? Avoid blood. What does this mean? Now, this is back to wisdom must be taught to be able to truly understand it. This natural law principle here, okay? If we take the smartest person that's ever lived and put them on a desert island, they're gonna be a lot better off, but they're not gonna be as smart as they could be. They're not gonna be developing iPhones stranded all alone on a desert island, okay? For you to grow in wisdom, you can learn things, learn true principles, and then grow it, okay? So this was meant to be taught. Now, the Bible tells you to avoid blood, okay? Now, this is even after the injunction to not eat living things, okay? So eat an animal while it's alive, so don't torture. Avoid blood, because in the blood is life. This is the call to justice. When you steal from me, you're stealing my blood. We understand this. We use this in the way we talk about it. My blood, sweat, and tears is what gave me this, okay? To avoid drinking my blood is to not steal from me, okay? Now, the requirement to avoid blood is a requirement to have justice, courts of justice, have rules of justice within your society. If you establish truly blind justice, you avoid the floods of chaos. These are principles of truth and reality. So what is happening to us as a society is we are divorcing ourselves from these principles. Specifically, the one in my heart is this blind justice. The fact that some people think it's a good idea to try to assassinate Trump for what? He did mean tweets. Okay? Like, the thing that's so amazing is, like, so his sexual whatevers, like, he paid people. That was just. It was wrong. Like, I have problems with it. But he was at least being just. Okay? Now, on the other hand, we have a system that is so corrupt right now that we've prosecuted him with charges that there's not another person on the planet that's been charged with a similar charge. Okay? A directly similar charge. It's chaos. So the on the other hand, like, we have this inverted justice where, like, the Michael Brown hands up, don't shoot. Like, I'm sorry, the guy was a thug. I don't care about the color of skin. I don't care about the race, religion, whatever. You have to take the tribal elements out of the scenario that you're looking at, and then look at it and say, yeah, this person was just in being shot. Like, if you can't have blind justice, you don't have justice. So the more our system and our society embraces tribal justice, non-blind justice, it's chaos, because it's not just. It's not justice. So we are upside down, inside out. I don't know, the other word I want to use is flat earth logic. Like, if you can't take truth and verify it, it's not truth. Okay? Like, if you're embracing principles that you cannot verify in a real world principle application, it's just not logic. It's flat earth logic. Like, we can go book airfare right now and prove that the world is round. You can fly around it with me and we can experience it ourselves. We can call home and find out that the sun's up. Like, it just doesn't work. We're prone to these things that are driving us into states of chaos, and the more that we're driving down the roads of breaking those 4 covenant responsibilities that we have, the more our system and our society is drawn to this chaos. So it's just real. There you go. I'm glad Trump lived. I'm concerned for our society. Unless we embrace these principled, grounded truths and reality, we're going to continue to struggle. So those are my thoughts.